your problem is?
I ain't got no problem, man. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what my problem is. Nigga, I don't care about that.
Honey, let me tell you what went down on the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta set. It was everything. The atmosphere was so charged with tension, you could literally cut it with a knife. The cameras were rolling, capturing what was about to become the most explosive moment this season has ever seen. And trust me, we've already had our fair share of drama. But what happened between Scrappy and Khaotic? Child, let me spill this piping hot tea because nobody, and I mean nobody, saw this coming. Not even the seasoned crew members who've seen it all could have predicted the intensity that was about to unfold when these two alpha males were thrown into the same scene together. What was supposed to be just another scripted confrontation? Baby, it turned into a full-blown inferno that left everyone's jaws on the floor. The day started normal enough. You know how it goes. Crew setting up, multiple storylines simmering, ready to boil over. But for Scrappy, honey, this wasn't just another day at the office. Poor thing had been carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Family drama, relationship issues, and don't even get me started on the constant spotlight pressure. All of it was pushing our boy right to the edge. But what really had Scrappy's blood boiling? It was that newcomer, Khaotic. And let me tell you, that name fits him perfectly. This Khaotic character had been stirring the pot since day one, running his mouth like it was an Olympic sport. With that sharp tongue of his and an attitude bigger than Atlanta itself, he'd been picking fights left and right, desperately trying to grab any attention he could get. And Scrappy, baby, he wasn't having any of it. You see, Scrappy's been in this game for years, and some newbie trying to make a name for himself by throwing shade? Please. But there was something different about the way Khaotic had been coming for him lately. The constant mocking, the way he'd been trying to get under Scrappy's skin, it was driving our boy absolutely crazy. The tension between these two had been building for weeks, darling. Khaotic had been playing this nasty little game, subtly throwing dirt on Scrappy's reputation, making fun of his past relationships, and taking these petty little jabs at his status in the love and hip-hop circle. Scrappy tried to be the bigger person, tried to let it roll off his back, but today was the day that all hell was about to break loose. The scene started innocent enough. Well, as innocent as anything can be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. The producers thought they were just setting up another verbal showdown, but oh honey, they had no idea what was coming. The moment those cameras started rolling, Khaotic went straight for the jugular, his voice dripping with more venom than a snake pit. You've been on this show for how long and you still don't know how to handle your business, huh? The way Khaotic said it, with that smirk plastered across his face, you could tell he was just itching to set this whole thing off. He had that look, you know the one, like a cat that's about to knock your favorite vase off the table just because it can. Scrappy was trying. Lord knows he was trying to keep his composure. His jaw was so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. He's no stranger to drama, we all know that, but this was different. Khaotic wasn't just coming for his personal life or his relationships. No, this man was trying to demolish everything Scrappy had built in this industry. Man, you need to watch your mouth, Scrappy warned him, his voice so low and dangerous it gave everyone chills. But did Khaotic take the hint? Child, please. Instead, this man doubled down like he was at a blackjack table in Vegas. Watch my mouth? Nah, I'm just calling it like I see it, Khaotic fired back, each word calculated to cut deeper than the last. You ain't built like you used to be, Scrappy. You're just another washed-up dude pretending to still be relevant. And that's when it happened, honey. Before anyone could blink, Scrappy's hand flew across Khaotic's face with a crack so loud it echoed through the set like a thunderclap. The whole room froze. You could have heard a pin drop. The crew gasped like they were watching their favorite soap opera. And the cameras? Baby, they caught every single second. Khaotic stood there for a hot second, looking like he'd just seen a ghost. But when he came to his senses, Lord have mercy! His eyes were burning with the kind of fury you only see in action movies. He lunged at Scrappy like a man possessed, pushing past those security guards like they were made of paper. You think you can just slap me and get away with it? Khaotic was ready to throw down, his fists clenched tighter than my grandmother's purse strings. But Scrappy? Baby. He wasn't backing down an inch, standing there with his chest heaving, matching Khaotic's energy blow for blow. You've been running your mouth too long, Scrappy shot back, his words thick with all the venom Khaotic had been spitting his way. Now you see what happens when you don't know how to shut it? The cast and crew scattered around like leaves in a storm, watching this scene unfold with their mouths hanging open. The only sounds you could hear were harsh breathing and muffled shouts as security tried their best to keep these two men apart. And let me tell you something. This wasn't just about that slap anymore. This was about respect, pure and simple. Two grown men who'd reached their breaking point, both too proud to take a step back. The producers, finally realizing this situation was spinning faster than a tornado in Kansas, called for an emergency break. The crew rushed in like a SWAT team, pulling Scrappy and Khaotic apart before things could get even more heated. But honey, even with the camera still rolling, we all knew the damage was already done. That slap? It wasn't just a slap, it was a statement. Everything that had been simmering between these two men finally boiled over. For Scrappy, this wasn't just some impulsive reaction. He was making it crystal clear that he wasn't about to let anyone, especially not some newcomer like Khaotic, try to take his crown or disrespect him in front of the whole world. Now let me tell you about what happened next. Bambi, standing nearby, could feel this storm brewing like a meteorologist before a hurricane. She'd heard every disrespectful word Khaotic had thrown at her husband, and baby, she knew Scrappy wasn't about to let this slide. The way he was standing there, muscles tighter than a new pair of skinny jeans, eyes locked on Khaotic like a missile targeting system. It was giving everyone chills. Khaotic might have been used to starting drama, always walking around with that chip on his shoulder bigger than Texas. But this time he'd bitten off more than he could chew. He thought he was just playing his usual game, but honey, he'd made it personal. You don't come for Scrappy's wife and expect to walk away like nothing happened. In one swift motion that nobody saw coming, except maybe Bambi, who knows her man better than anyone, Scrappy stepped toward Khaotic. Patience completely evaporated. The crowd started buzzing like a beehive that'd been kicked, everybody knowing they were about to witness something legendary. And when that slap landed, child! The sound echoed through that room like a sonic boom. Bambi's face was a whole mixture of emotions. Relief, pride, and something deeper, knowing her man would go to war for her without hesitation. That bond between them, stronger than industrial strength superglue. The rest of the cast? Some of them were standing there looking like deer in headlights, not sure whether to gasp or applaud. Others? You could see that little glimmer in their eyes, probably thinking, finally, somebody shut Khaotic up. As the cameras panned out, everybody was thinking the same thing. How was this going to change everything going forward? Would Khaotic try to get his revenge, or had he finally met someone who could put him in his place? One thing was crystal clear though, this drama was far from over, honey. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta family had just witnessed one of its most explosive moments ever, and the aftershocks. Baby, we'll be feeling those for seasons to come. This wasn't just another reality TV moment. This was raw, unfiltered, real-life drama that no script could have planned. And as everyone left the set that day, the tension still thick enough to cut with a knife, we all knew one thing for certain. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta would never be the same after this.